We're not going to finish this chapter. This is a long chapter. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. We're on chapter number 7. So this way you can share the book together. He finally has a book. These are the two. We're going to go get the other books tonight, inshallah. They came in the mail. And I forgot to get you the daily hadith book. You got it? Okay. Who was asking me about it? Somebody.
Probably Jamil. No, Jamil has one.
We gave those out the first class, because we had the box with us that day. Yeah. All right. So chapter number 7, we're going to get started on this because this is a long chapter. And like I said, we're not going to finish this today, more than likely, unless we sit here for like 2 hours. Chapter 7, what to avoid while fasting. All right, in this chapter, we're going to focus on issues pertaining to the causes for the fast that become void. That means you get no reward for the fast. It's just, void in a way that will require the person to make that day up if he or she has a valid reason. So I said a valid reason. Why? Like if you page 52. Yeah, you think it's an Arabic book or something?
No,
I'm on the beginning here. All right, valid because the person's sick, and he breaks his fast because he's sick. He makes that day up. But let's say I just wake up and I'm like, man, I'm lazy, and you try to make up an excuse. You try to lie to yourself to make yourself feel like you're sick. No, you can't make that day up because you don't have what? You don't have a valid excuse for breaking your fast. And in that case, you need to make tawbah. You need to make tawbah. And you also have to renew your intention for fasting Ramadan. But that's tawbah. You have to have a valid reason. You can't just say, you know what, I'm not going to fast today. I'll just make it up after Ramadan because I don't feel like fasting today. No, there's no making stuff up that you do for that person. It has to be a valid reason. I'm not going to deal with the issues of what causes the fast to have less reward for the person, because that is an issue of obedience to Allah. So basically, you lose your reward. Your reward for fasting becomes less and less and less and less as you disobey Allah more and more and more while you're fasting. It's simple, right? All right. Allah disobeys Allah during his fast. His reward will be reduced. We can see this in the following hadith. This is in Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. This hadith is in Bukhari. So here the Prophet ﷺ said, he said, whoever does not leave off Qawl az-zur. Qawl az-zur is what?
False testimony.
Any type of false speech, whether it's lying, whether it's false testimony, any type of false speech. And obviously, from amongst Muslims, the biggest false speech is what? Yeah, to say like this is sunnah, this is not sunnah, to make bid'ah look like sunnah and things like that. But no, if you're lying about Allah, that's amongst Muslims. Shirk billah and all these lies and all that, you're not Muslim anymore. So I'm talking about that it's something that keeps you within the confines of Islam. Like a person committing bid'ah. Of course, this is the worst of all qawl az-zur. Any type of bid'ah in this religion. But also bearing false testimony and bearing false witness, and all of these fall into that same category. And he said, what amala bi, and acting upon that. So it's the false lies, the conduct, and and acting on also that type of false pretense. فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ. So Allah has no need for the person to do what? And leave off his food and his drink. Allah, so if you're not going to obey Allah has no need for your fasting, right? What is Allah? Allah whole Ghani. We're the fuqara, right? So we're the ones that are in need. And this is you see through the rest of the evidence that comes here. This is the reality. The fast is for us. It is our opportunity to relieve ourselves of all the distractions of life that keep us from getting closer to Allah. That is the purpose of the fasting. And this is why we keep talking about over and over and over. We say what? Don't turn Ramadan into what? A social event. Where you have all these because all you're doing now is you're putting the distractions back in your life. Now this person becomes distracted all day with what he's going to cook and what he's going to eat and what he's going to do. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. The whole purpose is to get rid of those distractions so you can do what? Get closer to Allah, worship Allah. If we remove those distractions, we can focus more on our worship. However, what can a person benefit from fasting if he continues to fall into the same sins that he falls into when he is not fasting? So it doesn't mean like, for example, you go all day long fasting, reading Quran, and then as soon as the adhan for Maghrib comes, all the shaitan comes and jumps up out of you, you run out to the liquor store. No, what's the benefit of you fasting, right? If you're just gonna like now just relive all your jahiliyyah at night, but you're gonna be Muslim during the day and jahil at night. No. There's no point of you fasting. Where's your ajr? You're not benefiting, you're not getting anything from it. Alright, and then after that it says, Allah does not need our fast. Allah said in the Quran, أَنْتُمْ هَؤُلَاءِ تُدْعَوْنَ لِتُنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يَبْخَلُ. He said, here you are, all of you, you're called to spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يَبْخَلُ. And from amongst you are people that are going to be what? And stingy. They're going to hold back their money. They're not going to give for the sake of Allah. He said, وَمَنْ يَبْخَلْ فَإِنَّمَا يَبْخَلُ عَنْ نَفْسِهِ. And whoever holds back and acts stingy, he's only hurting himself. He's not hurting nobody else. He said, وَاللَّهُ الْغَنِيُّ وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the rich one. He is the one who's in no need of anybody or no need of nothing, anything. وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ. You, oh people, you're the poor people. You're the impoverished ones. You're the one that's in need. And this poverty, this faqr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, this is not faqr like when we're talking about our food stamps or our welfare. This is not that type of faqr. This is faqr that is what? This type of poverty that he's talking about is something that is a part of our creation. It's our creation. We're created like that. From the time that you're born, you're relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of your needs. Everything that you need. So this is faqr. This is a part of our creation. It's something that will never ever separate from us. From as long as we're alive and all the way up until our deaths, we're always going to be reliant on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter how hard-headed you are. And you think that you're independent, and you think that you're doing something for yourself, you're not. Wallahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants to take everything from you, and it's happened, we've watched it with so many people. Look at it, there's so many people, they have so much stuff, so much land, so much money, so much... Yeah, there you go. Qarun, the keys to his house, the keys to the door of this house, it took a whole usbatu min an-nas to just carry the key. A whole group of people just to hold the key up so he can open his door. And where is he at now? What happened to him?
Sunk him in the earth.
Yeah, the earth swallowed him up. Now he's in his house. Swallowed him up. There you go. So we act stingy and we hold back. We only affect ourselves. You're not changing nothing. And he said, وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ وَأَنْ تَتَوَلَّوْا. And if you turn your backs, يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will replace you with another people. وَلَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ, and they will not be like you. ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ, and they will not be like what? Like you. You want to be miserly, you want to hold back, and you don't want to give. And for the sake of Allah will change you with another people, and they're not going to have the same characteristics as you have. They're going to do the things that they're supposed to do. You got the Facebook on? Is it all right? So Allah is in no need of our obedience. It is we that are in need to obey Allah. To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth, and He is in no need for anything from us. This came in a beautiful hadith. This hadith is reported on the authority of Abu Dhar, radiallahu anhu, and I've always given you little bits and bobs of this hadith. So now we're going to take the whole hadith. We're going to take it also on the daily hadith, because it's also in there too. It's also in the Arba'in an-Nawawiyya, so for the people that memorize that, nobody, no.
Some I memorize that right now.
Huh?
Some I memorize that.
Okay, so this hadith is in Arba'in. عن أبي ذر ابن جنادة عن جندب بن جنادة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما يروي عن الله تبارك وتعالى أنه قال يا عبادي. So this is the hadith of Qudsi, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is narrating from Allah. Alright? He said, Ya ibadi, inni haramtu dhulma ala nafsi, wa ja'altuhu bainakum muharraman, fala tadhalamu. Alright, they said, I have made oppression haram, unacceptable, like impermissible on myself. وَجَعَلْتُ بَيْنَكُمْ what? Huh? Yeah, and I made it haram between you. فَلَا تَظَالَمُوا. So don't oppress one another. Do not oppress one another. Alright, then he said, يَا عِبَادِي كُلُّكُمْ ضَالٌ إِلَّا مَنْ هَدَيْتُهُ فَاسْتَحْدُونِي أَهْدِكُمْ. He said, all of you are misguided. You're on misguidance except for the one that I have given guidance to. So seek guidance from me and I will guide you. يَا عِبَادِي كُلُّكُمْ جَائِعٌ إِلَّا مَنْ أَطْعَمْتُهُ فَاسْتَطْعِمُونِي أُطْعِمْكُمْ. He said, oh my servants, all of you are hungry except for the ones that I've given food. So ask food from me and I will give you food. I will provide food for you. Then he said, Ya ibadi kullukum, what is it? Aaran, kullukum aaran illa man tasawtuhu, fastaqsuni aqsukum. He said, all of you, all my servants, all of you are naked. You have no clothes, except for just like how you were born. We were born with clothes. Were we born coming out the womb with Gucci on or what? No clothes until Allah provided us with those clothes. So he said, what? You seek the clothing from me and I will provide the clothing for you. He said, Ya ibadi, innakum tukhti'una bil-layli wan-nahari wa naghfiru dhunuba jami'an fastaghfiruni aghfir lakum. He said, oh my servants, you sin and you commit mistakes throughout the night and the day. So seek forgiveness from me and I will forgive you your sins. Right? يا عبادي إنكم لن تبلغوا ضري فتضروني ولن تبلغوا نفعي فتنفعوني. He said, oh my servants, you will never ever bring any harm. You will never do any type of harm. You can't bring any harm to me and you can't bring any what? Any type of benefit. Allah, He's the one that, He's the one that raises the harm from us. And He's the one that gives us the benefit and gives us what we need. He said, Ya ibadi, لو أن أولكم وأنسكم وجنكم يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وأنسكم وجنكم كانوا على والأفجار أتقى قلب رجل واحد منكم ما زاد ذلك في ملكي شيئا. He said, oh my servants, the first of you and the last of you and the mankind from amongst you and the jinn from amongst you were to be on the most pious and the most God-fearing of hearts. Said what? What did he say after that? Ma zada dhalik what? And it will not increase my dominion anything, my kingdom in nothing. This is for your own benefit. And he said, Ya ibadi, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أفجر قلب رجل واحد منكم ما نقص ذلك من ملكي شيئا. Then he said, oh my servants, the first from you and the last from you and the ins, the humans and the jinn, all of you were on the most wicked of hearts. Everybody, from the first of creation to the last creation, with the most wicked of hearts, he said that will not decrease anything from my kingdom, nothing. So it's like, what is Allah telling us?
He doesn't need us.
He doesn't need us. Whatever benefit you do in this life, you're not doing it for Him. You're doing it to benefit you, to protect yourself from the fire. You understand? You're doing it for yourself. Yeah. Say it out loud. If you do any type of ihsan, which is any type of righteousness and good bid, you're doing it only for yourself. And if you do any bad deeds, it's going to be on your account. And then after that he said, Ya ibadi, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا في صعيد واحد فسألوني فأعطيت كل واحد مسألته كل إنسان مسألته ما نقص ذلك مما عندي إلا كما ينقص المخيط إذا أدخل البحر. So he said, oh my servants, if the first from you, all the way to the last from you, from the humans, from the jinn, were to stand up on a raised plain, and all of you were to ask me something, and I were to give every single one of you what he asked. He said that would not decrease from what I have, except for like a sewing needle. If you were to dip it into the ocean, and come to see what you come out with that ocean. Like, how much of the ocean did you decrease? That's exactly what you decrease from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. Nothing. Because everything that we have and everything that He gives is from Allah. So, you know where we're getting it from. Then He said, after that, what's the next wording? Ya ibadi innama hiya a'malakum uhsiha lakum. So He said it's only your actions that I'm going to what? That you're going to be held accountable for. You're going to be held accountable for. Uhsiha lakum thumma uwaffikum iyyah. And then I will give you the recompense of everything that you've done. So if you've done good, what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you what? He's going to give you that reward. You've done bad, you get the punishment. That's the wafat. The wafat is what?
Recomposition.
Yeah, to give the person what belongs to him, to pay him back what he this is what you did, this is your recompense, this is what you get back. The woman that's it. So there you go. Who's gonna give you better wafat than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's gonna give you exactly what you put out is exactly what you're gonna get back. You put out half effort, you're gonna get a half effort back. If you get that. Alright, so He said, فَمَنْ وَجَدَ خَيْرًا فَيَحْمِدِ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ وَجَدَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. This hadith is in Sahih Muslim. So He said, whoever finds any good, then let him praise Allah, because all the good comes from Allah. If he finds anything else other than good, then let him blame who? Himself. No, I want to hold on, man, because I want to repeat this again. So let's go over this hadith again. Not the whole hadith, but let's focus on the end here. Because some people, they need to hear this. فَمَنْ وَجَدَ خَيْرًا فَلْيَحْمِدِ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ وَجَدَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. So whoever finds good, let him praise Allah. Not let him boast about it, not let him brag about it, not let him sit there and post garbage on Instagram, well, look what I got, look what I got, look what I got. No, let him do what? Praise Allah. Praise Allah for what you got. And thank Allah and use that in the obedience of Allah. And whoever finds something other than good, who does he blame? Yourself. What does that mean? The Prophet ﷺ is telling you what? This is Allah telling the Prophet this, right? This is a hadith from Allah. Is a Muslim a victim? Do we play this victim game where we try to blame everybody for all the faults in our life? What did Allah ﷺ say? Blame yourself. Everything that's going on in your life is a result of whose actions? Your mother's, your father's, your brothers, your neighbors. Whose actions are they? Yours. The worst thing that a Muslim can do, if you believe in qadr, you believe in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has predetermined everything, and everything is destined the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said it's going to be. Because He said, وَإِنَّ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدْرٍ. Everything has been created with qadr. Everything has been predetermined. How are you going to play the victim? How are you going to play the blame game? Whatever problems we find in the community, whose fault is it? It's ours. Each person takes the responsibility. You got problems in your household. Whose problem is that? Who's the man in the house? Yeah, so he's going to go around blaming the children, blaming the wife, blaming everybody else, or what? Because he can't control his house? Yeah, and this is what happens. A Muslim is not a victim. Muslims do not play victims. We take accountability, we take responsibility, we follow this hadith. فَمَنْ وَجَدَ خَيْرًا فَلْيَحْمَدِ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ وَجَدَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. And He said, فَلَا يَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. He put the tawqeed on it, which means you've got nobody to blame but yourself. It's your sins, your disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It causes other people to do what? Your children are being disobedient to you. You want your children to be obedient to you, but you're disobeying Allah. Does that make sense? Is that 1 + 1 = 2? No, that's qismatun dhiza. That's an unjust portion. You want everything for you, but you're not prepared to give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala His rights, but you want what?
People to give you your rights.
Yeah, you want the people to give you your rights. It doesn't work like that. First off, the most important thing that we fulfill in this lifetime is what? The rights of Allah. That came in the hadith of Mu'adh. Anybody got the hadith memorized?
I know the shop.
I don't want the sharh. You can give me the sharh after we read the hadith. And Mu'adh ibn Jabal رضي الله عنه قال كنت رديف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على حمار يوم فقال لي يا معاذ now you remember it. يا معاذ تدري ما حق الله على العباد وما حق العباد على الله قلت الله ورسوله أعلم قال حق الله على العباد أن يعبدوه ولا يشركوا به شيئا وحق العباد على الله ألا يعذب من لا يشرك به شيئا فقلت يا رسول الله أفلا أبشر الناس فقال لا تبشرهم فيتقلوا. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. So here Mu'adh said, I was riding behind the Prophet ﷺ on a donkey. Alright, and he said, and then the Prophet ﷺ asked him, he said, Oh Mu'adh, do you know the rights that Allah SWT has over his servants and the rights that the servant have with Allah? And we're going to get to those rights in a second. He said, Allah and His Messenger know best. He said that the rights that Allah SWT has over His servants is that they do what? They worship Him and they don't associate anything with partners with Him. When you disobey Allah, who are you obeying? You're obeying your desires, you're obeying shaitan, you're obeying everything but Allah. Is that not a form of shirk? Is that not a form of shirk?
Oh yeah.
And obedience. You know, it's not the shirk that takes you out of this deen because you're obeying your desires, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the people of desires. They said, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ. And then others, right? So have you not seen the person that takes his desires as a God beside Allah? So what type of ibadah, what type of worship is this person doing? But what type of worship is he doing? It's obedience. He's obeying his desires over the obedience he's leaving off. He knows. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ. Now the Mufassirun, they say that there's two different statements for the tafsir of this ayah. Number one is that Allahu Ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused him to be misguided with Allah's knowledge about his heart and what he's about. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left him to himself to lead himself astray. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahu Ta'ala, the ilm is with Allah in this case. And the other statement of the Mufassirin, of the people of the tafsir, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused him to be misguided once he took his desires as a God beside Allah, after the knowledge had come to him that what he's doing is wrong. So he knew what the right way was, but he chose what? He chose the ghayr sabil al-mu'minin. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, نَوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمْ وَسَاءَ مَصِيرًا. Alright, so whoever chooses the path other than the path of the believers, which is the Sahaba at this time, and also for all the believers that continue to follow the Quran and the Sunnah on the correct guidance, whoever chooses the path other than the path of the believers, what? نَوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى. So we're going to leave him with what he chose. That path that he chose, we're going to leave him on that path. وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمْ. And then we're going to prepare the hellfire for him. We're going to burn him up in the hellfire. وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. And what a evil return for this person. But it's because of what? Yeah, he took his desires. You know. So that's it. Okay, it's very simple. Very simple thing, man. This playing game stuff, this not taking accountability, no. Everything, our sins, our disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what causes all the problems in our lives. So as soon as something goes wrong in your life, something goes wrong at work, something goes wrong with your family, whatever, what's the first thing that you need to sit back and look at? What did I do wrong? What did I do? What sins have I committed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with me? And start making tawbah. But the worst thing that you can do is do what?
Blame.
Yeah. Oh, this is because he's doing this and he's doing this and this is his fault. That's a punk way out, people. That's a coward's way out. A real man does what? And looks himself in the mirror and is like, this is your fault. This is your fault. looks at his own reflection and he knows whose fault it is. He doesn't blame nobody else. Doesn't blame nobody else. Alright. It is we that need to worship Allah and worship and obey Allah. It is we that are going to be held accountable. We must use this time of Ramadan in obedience of Allah. We should avoid any foolish speech, laughing and joking, listening to music, looking at the opposite sex, sitting in front of a screen all day, watching videos on YouTube and TikTok, etc. Anything that will reduce the reward of fasting and take you away from the remembrance of Allah should be avoided completely. So all of these things, they decrease the what?
Your reward.
Your reward. So the point of Ramadan is to get away from what? Distractions. You're not eating all day, you're not drinking all day, you don't have the marital relations all day, right? So now you have all these distractions removed from your life. Focus on the ibadah, focus on the worship of Allah, focus on reading the Quran, focus on thinking and pondering about the Quran and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. Focus on making tawbah. Use this month as the time to get closer to Allah, not for social gatherings, and not to have fun and joke and laugh and ha and fill your stomach up. It's better to go hungry. It's better just to drink some water, eat some dates, some oatmeal, whatever, or some chia seeds.
Pizza.
No pizza. And then just spend your time in the worship of Allah, whatever time. Don't let these distractions get to you. What's up? You shouldn't play. You should be trying to focus on reading Quran and doing whatever, obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read books about the Sahaba. Read about real heroes. Read stories about the Sahaba. Read stories about the Tabi'een and all the people that came before. First off, read about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
كان الكفار قد يكذبون يعني واحد من اصحابي يجري اسرع من الخيل دي الواحد يعني اذا انت خايف انه يوصل واحد في العالم قد يكذبوك عنه. عندك علي اظن علي الذي رفع
ما كان اسمه.
كنت اذكر اسمه.
It's one of the Sahaba, one of the horses that ran away. We were reading it in Sirah al-Nubala before we came here because he wanted. I know from the story because the brothers that sat with Sheikh Mubah used to tell the story about, but I never knew where the story was, and I kept trying to find it. So we found it in Sirah al-Nubala, and I gave it to him to read it, but I didn't read it. But one of the Sahaba, basically, the horse ran away, like it galloped away, and he ran and caught it and pulled it back. And this is authentic. This is authentic with the chain of narration in Sirah al-Nubala.
إذا كان أظن اثنين من الكفار كانوا يقتلوه حتى يقتلوه بس يجري أسرع من الخيل.
Yeah, he used to run faster than a horse.
It was like a miracle.
No, they were strong. The Lord gave them some strength that you could never imagine. Any questions about this before we go to the first issue? All right, issue number 1. What are the actions that break your fast? Now, this is probably, we're not going to, like I said, we're going to do a few of these and then we're going to stop because of time. All right, what are the actions that break your fast? There are 3 actions that cause your fast to become void, and they are what?
Fasting, eating, and sexual relationships.
Fasting?
I mean, eating, drinking.
Fasting causing your fasting to become void.
Eating, drinking, and sexual relationships.
Eating, drinking, sexual activity. That's it. So anything that goes into your body, that breaks your fast. Okay? So that's not just limited to eating and drinking, but also to what?
What about why do we make wudu?
Toothpaste.
What about saying
Smoking.
Smoking, anything that you're putting into your body.
Vaping.
Yeah, vaping, smoking.
What about a bad word? What about a bad word?
Profanity. That's called a zuhr.
Oh, what's that?
That's the first hadith. That reduces your reward for fasting. If you're not going to leave that off, there's no benefit. There's no benefit from Allah. Like Allah says, the Prophet ﷺ said, there's no benefit for you leaving off your food and your drink if you're going to continue to act the same way. So if you can't improve your behavior and hold back your anger and all these types of things in your language and control your mannerisms while you're fasting, what's the benefit? What are you benefiting from? What's the benefit now? All you're doing is you're being hungry and thirsty all day long. That's it. So no, we leave all that stuff off. Somebody angers you, class. Just walk off. Yeah, go. It's not the time for this. Because that's his shaitan trying to get you to distracted. And I told you, get away from the distractions. It's not a time like, Ramadan is not a time out here to prove our manliness to nobody. We're here to get closer to Allah. So you want to fight, you fight after Ramadan, no problem. But like right now, this is the time for getting close to Allah. On Eid, we can put on some boxing gloves, right? We'll fight on the back of the short bus, right?
I gotta take my brother-in-law.
All right, and of course the sexual activity is not permissible and that breaks your fast. And that sexual activity includes all things. Like what?
Zina.
Well, I mean, like actual,
Marital.
the big activity, and then also other things that,
Anything that's discharged.
No, if it discharges without, like for example, like a wet dream or something of that nature, no, that does not break your fast, because that's out of your control. But something that is within your control, you understand? So yes, some people get a little too hand happy, that will break your fast. Yes. Yes. I don't know how to say it, man. I'm like, you gotta keep in mind there's people downstairs. I'm not worried about YouTube. I'm worried about the women downstairs. But you get the idea, right? Anything. If you, even with your wife, if you were to hug onto your wife and you start to feel like you're getting excited, you better let go. Because if something discharges from you during that excitement, what happens? You broke your fast. You broke your fast. So yes, it's so any type of excitement that causes a discharge, but is prompted by but it's something that you control. Like you being asleep and having one of those dreams that's out of your control. So no, you wake up, you take a ghusl, you continue fasting. Yeah. All right. And the ayat, we already went over it, so أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. I think we talked about it like twice yesterday. So you know the ayat, right? So all of that talking about what? The eating, the drinking, and the sexual relations. As we can clearly see in the ayat, all three of these activities are allowed throughout the night. However, once the next day, because we already talked about the ayat yesterday, like 2 or 3 times. As we can clearly see in this ayat, all three of the activities are allowed throughout the night. However, once the time for Fajr enters, these 3 actions cease. Alright, so clear. These are the 3 things. What?
Eat, drink, and relationship.
Yes, okay. Alright, issue number 2. What about a person that forgot he was fasting and he ate or drank? What?
Allah will hold you accountable for that.
What's your evidence?
ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا.
You're good. That's not the hadith that we're looking for. But yeah, okay, but that does, yes. That's a general. That's general for Ramadan and outside of Ramadan. Yes, that's good.
He didn't have intention to break his fast.
What's your evidence? I don't want Aristotle evidence. I want Quran and Sunnah evidence.
Two hadiths.
Now just give me one.
One is what's his intention. His intention wasn't to break his fast.
إنما الأعمال بالنيات. You want that, the hadith of Umar ibn Khattab.
What is by intention?
You want that hadith. That's general, yeah, but I want something more specific.
The Prophet Muhammad when he was coming in, he would find on days that was not obligatory, he would fast.
Don't do it. Nah, we're gonna see it now anyways. So if a person forgets he is fasting and he eats or drinks, his fast remains valid as long as he stops eating or drinking once he remembers.
So the sister one asked, do watching TV break fast?
Doesn't break it, but it reduces the reward.
Huh?
Watching TV, yeah, reduces the reward. Yeah. It's something we shouldn't do. In or out of Ramadan. Alright, his fast remains valid as long as he stops eating or drinking once he remembers that he's fasting. So it's not like, hey dude, you're fasting. I am? What? Fasting? Oh yeah! No. That means basically what? soon as you remember, whatever's out, you get rid of it and you continue your fast, right? Alright. We can understand this from the following hadith in Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من نسي وهو صائم فأكل أو شرب فليتم صومه فإنما أطعمه الله وسقاه. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. So here the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the hadith reported by Abi Hurairah, that whoever من نسي, whoever what? Forgets. من نسي وهو صائم, he forgets while he's fasting. فأكل أو شرب, so he eats or he what? Or he drinks. فليتم صومه. So let him complete what? Let him finish his fast. فإنما أطعمه الله وسقاه, because it was only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave him food and He gave him drink. But you have to stop as soon as you remember. Okay? If you eat anything after you remember, your fast is broken. You have to make that day up. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Spit it out. So what? It's better than a waste of fast. You know, obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more, disobedience, this ibadah is more important than wasting food. You can spit the food out and give it to a cat. You don't have to waste it. Go right here, we feed the cats every day, you know, you can do it. There you go. Sorry, cat, got a little spit on it, but you know, enjoy yourself. But you don't have to waste it. And if you're worried about wasting food, you spit it out, wrap it up, put it in the refrigerator, eat it later. You know? But no, your fast is way more important. This is worship. This is worship. You know, wasting food is a form of israf, and it's haram. It's waste, you know, but this is worship. This is way more. This has precedence over everything else. Alright. So, however, he has to cease eating or drinking once he remembers that he is fasting. If he were to take one more bite of food or one more sip of a drink after he remembers his fast becomes what? Void. Alright, as long as he stops eating and drinking, once he remembers that he's fasting, he doesn't have to make the day up. So you do not have to make the day up. You eat, you're eating, you remember. Let's say you ate a whole meal. Forgetfulness, right? You didn't know. MashaAllah, today's a good day for you. You ate like half a pizza. And then Hamza sees you and say, Ya Akhi, it's Ramadan. Oh no. What do? Well, you already ate half of the pizza. And it's the fast. Because you ate all of that while you were in a state of forgetfulness. So just, you know, once you're reminded, khalas. That's it. Do you have to make the day up? No. But hopefully, you're not going to make it through half a pizza before you remember that it's Ramadan. You know, so inshallah, that doesn't happen. And the easiest way to do this is if you get hungry during Ramadan, go to a Muslim restaurant and tell them, Assalamu alaikum, I want some chicken and rice. So they can remind you that it's Ramadan, inshallah. Don't go to the kuffar.
Not these Muslim restaurants around here. They're gonna give it to you. Actually, I'm not even, they'll give it to you.
Don't go to any restaurant, please. Just call Hamza every time you get hungry. What should I do? Go home.
And I'm not even joking either.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
That's true.
I believe you. Alright, issue number 3. Does using miswak break my fast? Now, this is a funny thing too, right? Because everybody's gonna sit here and say, what? Before we close your books, because you cheaters, man. You cheaters. Yeah, the miswak is the two-stick right there from the arak tree. Alright, everybody's gonna say, watch this. I'm gonna ask you a question, you just tell me yes or no. Is using miswak during fasting sunnah?
Up until Asr.
He says up until Asr. You even put a time limit. You didn't even say yes or no. You put a time limit. You put a schedule for you to use the miswak. No, it is yes or no. Is it sunnah or is it not sunnah?
Yes.
You say sunnah. Show me one hadith where the Prophet ﷺ was using miswak in Ramadan. Or while he was fasting. Ooh. to say it's sunnah, we can't say it's sunnah. We have different ahadith about the Prophet ﷺ using the miswak at all the different times. And he said, "Lola nashukku ala ummati la amartukum biswaki inda kulli salat." We have like these general hadiths where the Prophet ﷺ said, if I didn't want to make difficulties for my ummah, then I would have ordered you to use the miswak at every prayer. So the people will use these general evidences to say, yes, it's sunnah because that's including Ramadan and outside of Ramadan, right? Okay. So, but as far as sitting there saying that the Prophet ﷺ, that we have evidence, specific evidence, where the Prophet used the miswak, yeah, you're going to search for that one. You got to search for that one, right? But now, the second issue is, does it break the fast?
No. What you say?
Does it break the fast?
No.
Using miswak?
No, it doesn't break the fast. Because you just said eating, drinking, and sexual relationship.
Because you're shallow the,
He answered the question.
you're shallow the.
I'm sure I know.
So hold on. So if I take a miswak, I chew on it. I'm talking about the fresh ones. I'm not talking about these dry ones, these dry, things in America. I'm talking about the fresh ones. The one where you bend it like that and it doesn't break. Now what happens when you bite into that miswak? It's like real spicy juice, right? And water. So you go and you bite into the miswak, it starts to release juice into your mouth, right? And that juice is what kills all the bacteria in your mouth. If you swallow that,
Okay, no, that's
your fast is broken. So what do you gotta do? You chew on it and you do what? Spit that water out, spit the water out. Now you also got another issue. Because while you were using the miswak, what got on the miswak? Spit, your own spit, right? And it dries up on it. Now when you put the miswak back in your mouth, you gotta also spit that out too. So you have to be very careful. You can use the miswak, but make sure that you spit it, you spit the stuff out. And like if there's any spit or anything on the miswak, yeah, to get that out.
Breaking your fast.
The what?
Swallowing your spit, break your fast.
So no. Okay. Let's give a really, really sick scenario that you're just a very, very not sane person and you decided to spit into a cup and drink that spit, yes, that will break your fast. As sick as that may be, but as long as the spit is in your body and it didn't leave your body, it does not break your fast. But that's why I said the spit, when it gets on the miswak, you have to be careful when you put the miswak back in your mouth, because it is going to have your spit on it. And now you're putting it what? You're putting it back. After it's detached from your body, now it's no longer from you. Now it becomes something that will break your fast now.
What about the toothpaste? Can you do a toothpaste?
Oh, we're going to get to that in a minute. This is the next issue. Yeah. All right. So let's read. Does using miswak break my fast? The short answer is no. Whenever I say the short answer, but no, it doesn't break your fast. However, there is one issue that I will explain in a moment. As far as the general ruling on using the miswak during a fast, it is permissible. The scholars take the general statements of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's what I told you about the different times that the Prophet used to say, about using the miswak. In regards to using the miswak, to say that it is permissible to use while fasting. However, some scholars stipulate that the miswak has to be dry. This is because fresh miswak has a spicy liquid in the wood, which is released into the mouth when a person chews on it. This liquid will cause your fast to be void. If you decide to use a fresh miswak, you should spit out the liquid until the liquid is finished. If you are concerned with the liquid, it is best to avoid using a fresh miswak. All right, clear, right? All right. You notice there's no hadith here, right?
The what?
There's no hadith. There's no hadith. Because there's no hadith. Because there's no hadith about him using that I know of. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I didn't find it in the compilation of this book. Issue number 4. What about brushing my teeth with toothpaste? Does this break my fast? Anybody want to?
Yeah.
That's just swallow it.
Yes, what?
It do break fast.
It does.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. All right, Mufti. Anybody else?
This is not fasting, eating, drinking, and sexual relationship.
but you're putting toothpaste into your mouth.
But you're not swallowing. Is it like if you're making wudu? Like when you make the wudu, you're not like drinking the entire water.
Alright, let's see. The answer to this question is also no. No, that's the fifth one. Again, the short answer is no. However, the person should do his best to avoid allowing any water or toothpaste to enter his throat. So you have to be careful that it doesn't enter into your throat. The swallowing of water and toothpaste will cause your fast to become void, so be careful. If you are worried about breaking your fast, brush your teeth immediately before beginning your fast to remove doubt. Issue number 5, and this will be the last one, inshallah, and we'll wrap it. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. Does kissing one's spouse cause the fast to become void?
No.
Well, yes and no. What type of kissing are you talking about? If you're talking about pecking, like little pecking kissing, no. If you're talking about exchanging mouth fluids, yes. That would cause the fast to become void.
واحد من البنات كانت تشتي تقول لك هل ترى شيء كيف هو يحمل هذا؟
ترى شيء بعد الصيام حصل؟
Issue number 6. Just throwing up. That's the next one. We'll do that tomorrow, inshallah. Alright, so the answer to this question is also no. As long as the kiss is done with only the lips, there is no issue. However, if there is an exchange of liquids from the mouth, this will make the fast void. The Prophet ﷺ used to kiss his wives while he was fasting. We can see this action from the Prophet ﷺ in the following hadith in Aisha رضي الله عنها قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبل وهو صائم ويباشر وهو صائم ولكنه أمنبكم لإربه متفق عليه ولفظ المسلم وزاد في رواية في رمضان. So in the narration that this was in Ramadan, so Aisha radiallahu anha, she reported that the Prophet ﷺ used to kiss while he was fasting, and he used to embrace while he was, how did they translate it? Yeah, embrace, right? They translated embrace, yeah. And he used to embrace his wives while he was fasting. Yeah, embrace, hug, yeah. And I mean, well, Mubashir, it means anything like where their bodies would touch, you know, so, yeah. But in this case, it means embracing. While fasting, he had the most control. He said, so he had the most control over his desires. So that means that, yes, okay, the ruling for just kissing like this and hugging and everything does it break your fast? No. But now, what does she say at the end of the hadith? He had the most control over his desires. So now the ulama take this hadith to understand what? That if a person, if he's like, you know, like a younger brother, and he's married, he's like 18, 19, he just got married, and he can't control himself, what?
Get out of there.
Don't kiss her, don't hug her until mother. Alright. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. If you can't control yourself, it doesn't matter if you're 18, it doesn't matter if you're 40. If you can't control yourself, what? Stay away from it. Don't do it. It's not going to break your fast, but what you might end up doing will destroy your fast. So stay away. Stay away. We can see the permissibility from the action of the Prophet ﷺ, but if a person fears that kissing could lead to more activity that will cause his fast to be void, he must avoid kissing. This is why some of the scholars said that it's not permissible for a young man to kiss his wife, but it's fine for an older man to do so. And you'll see this in the different madhab. There's no evidence for this. If a young man is able to do what? Control himself, he's free to kiss his wife. The Prophet ﷺ kiss his wife. That's it. There's no issue. But if he's not, that's when it becomes impermissible. But some of the ulama in the different madhab, they will say, no, if you're young, it's impermissible to kiss her while you're fasting. If you're older and you have more control, you can do it. But that's not correct. Alright. There is no evidence from the Sunnah for this statement. The issue goes back to the person's ability to control his desires. If he's going to fall into something that breaks his fast, whether he's young or old, he should absolutely avoid that action. Should we read the thing about vomiting because they're asking about that, or should we save that for tomorrow?
Yeah, read it.
Read it. How much time? No, the recording, how much?
50 seconds.
10 دقائق.
It's only been recording for 10 minutes?
15.
50. That's all, yeah, I guess. Alright, so we'll go through this quickly, inshallah. Does vomiting break one's fast? There are actually two issues attached to this, and the two issues are what? Does a person vomit involuntarily or voluntarily? Okay, so a person who he ate something at night, he felt a little queasy, and he threw up. That's one issue. Another person, he ate something at night, he doesn't feel right, like something in his stomach's not right, so he forces himself to throw up because he wants to get that stuff out of his stomach, but he's fasting. So which person here loses his fast? The intentional one. So the unintentional one? Yes. You guys already forgot the rule. What was the rule? When we're talking about food and drink, you lose your fast from what? What goes in, not what comes out, right? You already forgot the rule. Well, let's see. But we're going to see if you're right. But this is what you're saying is the opinion of the majority of the scholars of the different madhahib. It is correct. But let's look at the evidence, because that's what we're concerned about. There are actually two issues attached to this. The first one is about vomiting involuntarily. This could be due to something the person ate the day before that causes the person to vomit. If the person vomits involuntarily, it does not cause the fast to become void. As long as the person is able to continue the fast, that means, obviously, if he threw up and the fasting becomes too difficult for him to continue, maybe just very weak, then what should he do? He should break his fast. He shouldn't put himself in harm. Break your fast and make it up. If you got severe food poisoning, you're not continuing your fast. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to break your fast because you need liquids in your body, right? But if it's just you throw up once and you're fine, continue on, right? As long as the person is able to continue the fast, his fast remains valid. The second issue is if the person forces himself to vomit. In this case, the scholars say that the person's fast is what? Is void. They use the following hadith for evidence. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من درعه القيء فلا قضاء عليه. So whoever was caused to throw up, he doesn't have to make up the day. Alright, he doesn't have to make it up. فلا قضاء عليه. ومن استطاع, but whoever what? Forces himself to throw up, فعليه القضاء. Then he has to do what? He has to make up the day. This hadith was narrated Rawah al-Khamsa. What do we say about Rawah al-Khamsa? And Muslim Imam Ahmad. Now in Arabic it says Rawah al-Khamsa.
So technically, if he don't like what's in his stomach and everything, right? So he throw up, right? So then he gotta make up the fast, right?
If he doesn't, according to the people that use this hadith.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to get to that in a second. Wait. Alright. It said, Rawah al-Khamsa wa 'allahu Ahmed. So Ahmed narrated the hadith. He was one of the 5 people, and he said that it has an illah. What does this mean when we talk about an illah? Illah in the Arabic language is like an ailment, right? But when we talk about the science of hadith, an illah is something that causes the hadith to be weak, but not on the surface. Like when you look at the hadith on the surface, it looks like what? Everything's like this person's narrated from this person is authentic, this person is thiqa, this person is thiqa, this person. But then when you start to dig, you start to find underlying causes that cause the hadith to be da'if. Yeah, he wrote a book about this. And what are those underlying causes? Like what? Sometimes the sheikh, I guess, I'll give you a chance. You want to answer? Anybody want to?
Yeah.
What, you have an answer?
No, I think said, do you want it?
Like some underlying causes would be like, for example, a sheikh, he lost his mind. He started to become very like Alzheimer's type person, right? After 60. So when he hit 60, he started making a lot of mistakes in hadith. So anybody that took hadith from him before 60, what? It's accepted and it's authentic. Anybody that took hadith after 60, they don't accept the hadith from him. So then when you start to dig, you see that he narrated from this person. But then when you dig, you found out he was a student of this person when he was 63. Now the hadith is not authentic because we got him now, and you don't have another chain of narration that will support it. Or another instance is if a person, he can only narrate, because there's two types of dhabt. And a dhabt means accuracy. So if you have a strong memory, this is called what? A dhabt al-sadr. That you have, like what? That you have a strong memory, that you're accurate in your memory. Because they said dhabt al-sadr, why? Because where is the memory? It's in your chest. What's the evidence for that? Because what do the kuffar say? Where do the kuffar say the memory is at? In the hair. It's in the hair. No. And in the head. In the head. Right. But it's in the chest. What's the evidence? You don't come with this ayat.
Ayat? Oh, I was thinking of a hadith.
It's ayat in the Quran.
أفمن شرح صدره للإسلام فهو على نور.
وما كنت تخطه بيمينك إذا لارتاب المبطلون بل هو آيات بينات في صدور الذين أوتوا العلم وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا الظالمون. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said? He said بل هي آيات بينات في رؤوسهم في الصدور الذين أوتوا العلم. He said that these are clear signs. The Quran is full of these clear signs that are preserved in the chest of the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given knowledge. Alright, وَمَا يَجْحَدُوا بِآيَاتِنَا إِلَّا الظَّالِمُونَ. What is the word jahada in Arabic? What does this mean? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the same word about Fir'aun, where he said, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًا. So the word jahada, what does this mean in the Arabic language?
Rejected.
It means that you reject it, but you know it's the truth. You understand? When you say, so when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Fir'aun and his people, he said, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا. They rejected what Musa came with, but they knew what? They knew it was the truth. And how do you know that they knew it was the truth? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَجَحَدُوهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا. And they had yaqeen, they even had certainty that everything that he came with was from Allah. But they still rejected it.
I can bring another verse too.
Go ahead.
The debate between Musa and Fir'aun, where Musa alayhi salam, he told Fir'aun, قال لقد علمت ما أنزل هؤلاء إلا رب السماوات والأرض بصائر. So like Musa alayhi salam,
He's telling
he
me.
told him like what it means, like you already know that, like
Yeah, because he said he used the word qad.
لقد علمت.
Yeah, لقد علمت. And the qad here is for what?
Like you already.
It's tahqiq. It means it's something that everybody knows that this happened. This is the reality. So you only use qad in the past. Well, not only, but you use tahqiq, where you can also use it for taqreeb, when something's coming close. But generally, we use the word qad in the Arabic language for what? In the past, in the madi, for tahqiq. The small examples that you can see for taqreeb is for what? قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. Because here you say قَدْ قَامَتِ. Does the Imam said Allahu Akbar? No, it's not قَامَتِ. But تقربت من قيامها. So it is close to being established. So you're calling the people so we can نقوم بها.
قد سمع الله قول التي قال حديث regarding Aisha. If it didn't like happen after and she didn't hear, she was inside, so Allah over his throne heard. Is that fading here or?
No, because he heard it when they said it.
I have it. I was thinking of something.
Yeah, that happens. But the shahad, the memory is in what? The heart. So, going back to this, you have two types of narration. So a person, if he has strong memory, we say this is about the sadr. If he doesn't have a strong memory, then what does he have to do? He narrates from what? He narrates from a book. So he's known for keeping everything precise in his books. So when he goes to a sheikh, he sits with the sheikh and he writes it down precisely. And he narrates it what? Precisely. He narrates to the people precisely. So this is called batul kitaba. So if a person is known for being a person of the book, like he is not known for having a strong memory, and he lost his book, and he goes to the people and narrates now from his memory, what happens? that hadith is not accepted because he's known to make mistakes from his memory. That's why the people only accept narrations from him when he's got his what? When he's got his book. You understand? When he's got his, who's that kitab? Yeah, exactly. Alright, so this is it. So these are what you call ilm. You know, these are like these small things, and these are only known from the people who focus their whole lives on the science of hadith. This is the most difficult science in all the sciences of this deen to go through, because you have to read through so many books to find all these different hidden things. So Allah understand. So this is the issue with this hadith. Now we're going to go through this now. This hadith is very clearly in support of the statement of the scholars. So this supports them, right? However, However, many scholars of hadith have rejected the last part of the narration. The first part of the hadith has support from other narrations that show that the Prophet ﷺ vomited and continued his fast. However, the last part of the hadith was rejected by Al-Imams Ahmed, Al-Bukhari, and Abu Dawood. The first and the last of the three narrated the hadith in their books, but they stated that it was weak. So all of them, they narrated the hadith, but they all stated what? Not all of them, because Bukhari didn't narrate it. But Imam Ahmed narrated it, and Abu Dawood narrated it in the Sunnah, and both of them stated in their books what? That the hadith is weak. It's not accepted. Alright, but they stated that it was weak. And whenever I'm stuck between two opinions, I will always lean towards the opinion of the
hadith.
People of hadith. Therefore, based on the issue with the last part of the hadith that was mentioned, vomiting, whether voluntary or involuntary, does not break the fast until we have authentic evidence to show otherwise, and Allah knows best. Now, it's another issue if you vomit and then you go back and swallow it, that's a different issue. But as long as it's like you're vomiting and you throw it up and you wash your mouth out, and that's it, khalas. Whether it's voluntary or involuntary, it does not break your fast. Any questions? I know it's from my memory, that's not from the book, so I don't know. I'll find it on Google, inshallah. I think it's Surah Al-Ankabut, it's not Surah Al-Rum. But the number, I'll find it, inshallah, after the reading. Any other questions? Just